for people who are really looking to make this their business, I want to be a primal health coach, I want to build a business, what are some of the biggest business lessons you've learned along the way?
Well, that's very interesting because I was a personal trainer back in the 80s. And as a personal trainer...
When people still wear leg warmers?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Ankle just rolled up or cuffed up around the ankles. And,
yep.
And they wore colored Reeboks, yellow Reeboks, aerobic shoes, and headbands. Everybody had a headband on. Yeah. But no, I made a lot of money as a personal trainer. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have the technology. I didn't have the information that I have now about diet. So I was a rep counter. So I would count repetitions, and I knew the weights, and I knew all the exercises. I had a degree in biology, and sort of I was, and based on my pedigree, I'd been a top triathlete, so I could command a higher dollar per hour fee for training people. But ultimately, like as you said in the beginning of this interview, people want to tell you their story while they're working out, and there's so much information in those stories. Yeah. That could be so much more useful in getting them to their goals than just doing 10 sets of lat pull downs, right? And it's that information that I realized that's really the sort of that if I could harness that information that they're willingly giving me. Well, I'm in a real position with my husband. He's just not listening to me, and my kids are, they're starting to hang out with the wrong crowd. And that's the sort of information that I was able to help them with, and then bring them back to we certainly, it's a total life that you have here. And while I wasn't trained in life coaching, I was trained enough in diet and the nutritional aspect, and sleep and stress management that I could put all those other pieces in and say, listen, if you just start to spend a little bit more time on yourself, taking care of yourself. And that'll allow you the space to listen to your husband and understand his needs. And that'll allow you the temperament to deal with your kids without yelling at them. And it all comes together beautifully. But it took me, in this case, being an interested third party to listen and to be able to give a little bit of feedback. Mm-hmm. Now, I see trainers all the time in the gym who they don't want to hear that stuff, right? They just want to count the reps and they just want to be done with it. Mm-hmm. Or they don't want to talk about nutrition. They say, well, you just have to exercise more. Just burn off more calories, and then you can eat what you want. So the Primal Health Coaching really is kind of centered around more of a total lifestyle, I think. So I realized about a few years into this that I was kind of at my limitation of what I could do as one person dealing one-on-one with other people. And that's when I started to think in terms of, well, is there a way I could leverage this? Is there a way I could maybe do evening classes and get 10 or 15 people to show up and listen to a little dissertation on how the human body works and how we take the foods that we eat and they get either stored as fat or burned off as for energy. And I started to talk to 15 or 20 people at a time. So that was one of the first opportunities I had to leverage myself and start to talk to larger groups of people. I parlayed that into the Primal Health seminars that we had for 4 years. We did seminars where we had anywhere from 100 to 300 people show up for an evening of a PDF PowerPoint presentation on the 10 basic primal blueprint principles. So all along, I kept thinking, well, how can I reach more people? That's really what I was after. Not so much how can I make more money, but how can I reach more people? Yeah.